Welcome to Tzu Chi This Week. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. Tzu Chi volunteers in China reach out and unlock the closed minds of a family with a mentally challenged son. Tzu Chi volunteers in Malaysia help a family with disabled son repair and clean their dilapidated house. Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter keeps up with modern technology and provides electronic ways to make donations. We begin our program with stories of Tzu Chi volunteers reaching out to needy families in various countries. In China, Gong Jianye's family used to keep him away from strangers because he's mentally challenged. In 2015, Tzu Chi volunteers in Kunshan began caring for him, which led his parents to change the way they care for him. While the family doesn't need financial assistance from Tzu Chi, they still welcome Tzu Chi volunteers' monthly visits.
These locks were quite a common sight in the Gong household at the end of 2016.
Before, their residence was very small and damp. Every cabinet door had a lock on it to seal it up.
In fact, the parents of Gong Jianye had also locked away their emotions ever since their son was born in 1996.
到8岁还不知道大小便。妈妈跟我说过。
Gong's mother said that she felt like committing suicide. She wanted to hold her child and jump off the roof together because she didn't want to live. Family members couldn't come into their home either, and they couldn't go out. From time to time, this child would also have violent attacks.
Starting in November 2015, Kunshan Tzu Chi volunteers began to unlock Gong Jianye's heart.
他知道
Now he knows that when he's going to bed, he needs to take off his pants and put them in the drawer, and he can also eat some things on his own. When I'm sitting here watching TV, he brings over some wool for me to knit. Sometimes I tell him that I wanted to take a rest, but he still forces me to knit.
Gong Jianye, who had broken countless knitting needles in the past, now knows how to help his mother.
真的，只有你们慈济到我家里面来。
Really, when Tzu Chi comes to our house every month, we're quite happy and we're a bit better off financially now. I want to buy some wool, and though I'm not able to go and help Tzu Chi every day, I take care of my son and knit what I can. I have seen others who are worse off, such as those living in the disaster areas. I definitely want to offer a little bit of help.
我想我也稍微弄一点点。妈妈高兴了，高兴了。
At the end of 2016, the family left their old house and moved into a cheaper but bigger home. This family of 3 is now taking the necessary steps to move forward and make progress in life.
Also in China, 78-year-old Zhong Bingfa lives in Fuding City's Chaoyang village. He suffers from an enlarged prostate and has been living with a urinary catheter. Because his village is very remote, he sometimes gives up on treatment since he has no money. In September of this year, when Tzu Chi volunteers were doing visitations, they decided to bring this senior to Fuding Hospital for surgery.
The next day, this elderly man is scheduled to undergo surgery. He seems a little nervous, though Tzu Chi volunteers and social workers are working to calm him.
Have a good rest today. Tomorrow you will have a surgery, so please rest easy.
78-year-old Grandpa Zhong suffers from an enlarged prostate. He originally had a catheter inserted at the township hospital, but travel costs were too prohibitive to have it regularly replaced. This led to a difficult predicament for him. Tzu Chi volunteers helped him to the Fuding Hospital for surgery to solve the problem once and for all.
It doesn't hurt. I've been like this for 5 years, which was difficult as I had to go to Pensy Township to change the catheter. Every time it will cost $30 US. Fortunately, you are helping me with this surgery, which will help me.
After surgery, Tzu Chi volunteers attend to this grandfather every day. On the day of his discharge, he was given a few daily necessities, along with volunteers accompanying him home.
带这个病确实是很痛苦的。
This disease is really very painful, and he put up with it. Especially when the catheter falls out, I would see his stomach swell very big, and it hurt so much. But now he is better. I'm so thankful for the surgery.
On this day, volunteers accompany this elderly man home, also bringing the orthopedic director of Fuding Hospital to see this elderly man's neighbor, Mr. Lei, who suffered a leg injury many years ago.
When I walk, I'm bent over because I can't bend my knee, but I have no money to fix this problem.
After the doctor carefully examines Mr. Lei's leg, he also checks on Lei's parents and details the best treatment options.
If we fix his leg, then it will be much better for the latter decades of his life. He is already 40 years old, so this will have a big impact on him.
Accompanied by these Tzu Chi volunteers, poor and sick villagers have someone to rely upon.
In Malaysia, a senior from Kedah is a Tzu Chi care recipient who lives with her daughter. They make a living by collecting recyclables. However, as they are unable to care for their home, their house has become cluttered. After learning that a senior is going to undergo a surgery soon, Tzu Chi mobilized 24 volunteers to help clean up the home.
This senior and her daughter live in this cluttered house, and they earn meager income by selling recyclables. As they are unable to take care of their home, items are piled up everywhere.
I don't feel tired at all. I didn't know that we could clear out so many items, thanks to the help of these people.
Tzu Chi volunteers have been caring for this family for over 2 years, and this is the second time they have helped these care recipients clean up her home, hoping to give her a comfortable and safe environment to recuperate after surgery.
With everyone's help, her home is tidy and clean now. We feel relieved since we can help her.
Every time she walks to sell recyclables, now we have helped her collect the resources in a small truck, so it will be more convenient for her.
On this day, she earned more income than usual by selling recyclables. Her daughter did something special. Besides helping them clean up the home, the volunteers also groom their hair, allowing this family to look clean and refreshed.
Also in Kedah, Malaysia, an 80-year-old senior lives in a dilapidated house with her son who's mentally challenged. As their roof has been severely damaged, the neighbors asked Tzu Chi for help. Volunteers therefore spent 2 days repairing the roof and cleaning up the environment.
This is the house where Mrs. Lai and her son have lived for more than 50 years.
The doors and windows here can't be locked. They use ropes.
They live in a dilapidated house as the walls and furniture are severely damaged. The ceiling, which is full of dust, may also collapse anytime. Worried about their living environment, their neighbors asked Tzu Chi for help.
We visited her on a rainy day and we found the house was leaking. She kept asking me to help her repair the roof, but I'm unable to do so.
Mrs. Lai's son is mentally challenged. Although he has received social subsidies, he still needs to rely on his mother to beg for a living. After understanding their difficult situation, Tzu Chi volunteers decided to help them repair their home. A boss from an iron factory also brought his workers to help.
I'm just a volunteer. My workers also don't haggle over this effort. After I told them that Tzu Chi was going to help this family, they immediately agreed and came.
The volunteers also helped the senior clean the environment. It was then they found her son's bed is also damaged. Therefore, volunteers gave them needed furniture the next day.
Today we brought a single bed for the care recipient's child. We also gave him an electric fan.
And this device makes Mrs. Lai feel very happy. With a comfortable living environment, Mrs. Lai no longer needs to worry. Volunteers will further arrange healthy diets for this family to truly put them at ease.
81-year-old Zhang Jingcai used to work in a mine when he was young, but then he fell ill. His wife's passing also seriously affected his body and mind. His daughter is a Tzu Chi volunteer, so she invited him to do recycling, and he liked it very much. He later became the head of the recycling station and now leads a group of senior recycling volunteers.
People who live here in New Taipei City are simple. This old cement house is a recycling station. 81-year-old station captain became depressed after his wife passed away and couldn't overcome it.
I suffered from the 4th level of pneumocinosis, and it was so serious that I had to take the medicine all the time. However, I don't feel pressure after I started recycling, and my heart has opened. I like doing it a lot.
Zhang Jingcai also invited his neighbors to do recycling to protect the city. Every recycling volunteer is older than him.
I'm old and have nowhere to go. Then I wandered around and noticed that the elderly could do this work as an exercise. It's good for your health.
Jingcai asked me to come. He said I had nothing to do, so why didn't I do recycling? I said, sure.
I was thinking that I had poor vision and I couldn't separate the recyclables correctly, so I didn't dare to come. Then they invited me to do it. I'm 85 years old this year.
Doing recycling makes the elderly feel useful and also benefits everyone.
A Tzu Chi care recipient from Batam Island, Indonesia, was diagnosed with breast cancer 2 years ago. Since she's poor without family by her side, Tzu Chi stepped in to provide her with medical expenses. Now that she has regained health, she wants to repay Tzu Chi's assistance.
Chatting happily with Tzu Chi volunteers, 49-year-old Muliwati seems quite healthy. But 2 years ago, she suffered from breast cancer, and Tzu Chi volunteers were by her side throughout her treatment and recovery.
During her treatment of breast cancer, we were always keeping her company. She underwent 6 chemotherapies and then a surgery to remove the tumor. We volunteers took turns to care for her in the hospital. Every day we had someone to care for her and encourage her.
I was sick and my family wasn't with me. Fortunately, Tzu Chi volunteers helped me. It was mercy from heaven, I guess. I wanted to get well and live a healthy life.
Being able to live again, Muliwati is now very concerned about keeping a healthy lifestyle. She also saves money in a coin bag and does recycling with Tzu Chi volunteers because she wants to pay back.
When I attend Tzu Chi events, I'm always energetic. Tzu Chi volunteers were so helpful, so I must prop up my spirit. Tzu Chi has helped me, so I want to help them too. I don't have money, so I volunteer to help.
One time she came to a Tzu Chi event and told me that she felt quite blessed. She often asks me if there's an event coming up. If there is one, I must contact her and invite her to attend.
The way Muliwati pays back the help she received may be just labor work, but her desire to help is priceless, and it is also a blessing to herself.
50-some years ago, when the Tzu Chi Foundation was established, Master Zheng Yan led 30 housewives to donate 5 cents a day to a bamboo coin bank to do good deeds. To keep up with modern technology, this bamboo coin bank campaign has also changed. It became electronic. Recently, the Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter has 2 electronic ways in which people can easily donate money.
Using a smartphone and scanning the quick response code on the Tzu Chi flyers, donors can easily specify the amount they want to give.
Using the quick response code, everyone can easily donate because everyone is using a smartphone now. So we're promoting this electronic donation campaign to assist the ease in which everyone can donate the amount they want.
To keep up with the modern times, Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter is promoting doing Tzu Chi's charitable deeds electronically. In the past, Tzu Chi volunteers would have to go door to door to collect donations, but now even bamboo coin banks have gone electronic.
The electronic bamboo coin bank is a mobile app that we're promoting right now for donation. The amount can be 5,000 Indonesian rupiah or 10,000. Whenever the donor has time, they can go ahead and do a good deed.
The easy-to-use app not only have a donation area, but also jinx aphorisms and updated news about the Tzu Chi Indonesian chapter.
In Indonesia, there are many people who want to do some good for society, but don't know where to start. Tzu Chi Foundation is known for its charity work. We know it's direct and professional. With the added mobile application, it's more convenient. Even those who don't have the time to make physical daily donations can make donations.
Combining technology and charity, the Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter hopes more love can be spread to more far corners of the world.
In our next report, we look at how students in Malaysia and China respond to Tzu Chi's environmental conservation seminars. First, we take a look at the efforts in Xiamen, where after a year of continuous recycling program, students have not only improved their grades, but also done more than their share of keeping the planet clean.
During Xiamen's number 10 middle school's lunch hour, students take their recyclables to the stairwell to sort. This is the school's recycling point, which was started by teacher Wang Xiangning. Little did he know this recycling program would lead to unexpected results from a rebellious student.
Ever since teacher Wang asked me to do recycling, there have been changes. For example, my grades in physics have improved ever since I have voluntarily done recycling.
Thinking about the difficulties he faced in getting this program started, Wang Xiangning cannot help but get emotional.
When I began this program, I was met with a lot of criticism and stress because many people don't understand this cause.
The longer the program runs on, it's easy for the motivation to wane. Yet Chen Aizhu remains committed, though she has to travel for an hour to get to the school.
Once I was late for a little bit, and when I arrived, I saw the children waiting for me with the recyclables at the door. It's their passion for participation that has kept me going.
Every month, the volunteers will bring more conservation ideas to the school to spread to the students, teaching the students that recycling begins at home and hoping they remain just as inspired as the volunteers work to protect the planet. Meanwhile, in Malaysia's Muar, the 16 Segamont public middle schools also welcomed Tzu Chi's recycling seminars. This is the collaboration of Muar Tzu Chi and Labas Parliament to raise environmental conservation.
Environmental conservation starts with our children, as they are the most absorbent. They can then influence their parents.
Even changing little habits in life can bring about big influences.
Mia Ferdis is a truck driver who has been working in Malaysia for 20 years. After he was diagnosed with kidney disease in 2013, he spent almost all of his savings on treatment. Fortunately, Tzu Chi Dialysis Center helped solve his problems. After watching Daai TV, he also started to sort recyclables.
This truck driver, who is a Bangladeshi Malaysian, has been working in Malaysia for 20 years. After he was diagnosed with kidney disease in 2013, he ran out of his money and even wanted to give up treatment. Fortunately, he later received help from Tzu Chi Dialysis Center. He watches Daai TV every time he undergoes dialysis. It was when he started his recycling journey.
When I undergo dialysis, I always watch Daai TV. I saw people collect recyclables at the beach and on the streets for Tzu Chi. I then asked the nurses whether they also collected recyclables.
Mia and his wife, who runs a grocery, collects recyclables in the shop. They even encourage their foreign customers to practice recycling together.
After my wife sells something to foreign customers, I will collect drink bottles and then give them to Tzu Chi. I saw on Daai TV that many people from around the world practice recycling, so I encourage Nepalese to collect recyclables. They usually buy drinks on holidays, so I asked them not to throw away the recyclables. I will collect them in a bag and then deliver them to a Tzu Chi recycling station.
Before he undergoes dialysis, he also delivers the recyclables he has collected to the recycling station.
I collected these recyclables at our shop. No matter how much money I may earn from selling these recyclables, I will never sell them. Instead, I will only give them to Tzu Chi because this organization helps many people, including those who are poor and ill.
Turning from the receiver into a giver, Mia thinks that it is more blissful to help those in need than to receive help from others.
The recycling volunteers in Keelung, Taiwan, spend 6 days a week recycling plastic bags. They usually collect waste plastic bags from business districts and sell them to manufacturers after cleaning and sorting them.
It is thin, light, and is used everywhere in our daily life. Plastic bags are commonly used in prosperous business districts, such as residential and commercial buildings, supermarkets, and clothing shops. Volunteers Chue Binnan and Xu Minzong visit different stores every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to collect waste plastic bags.
A long time ago, after I read Buddhist books, I realized we should not spend our whole life making money. When I returned to Taiwan from mainland China, after I finished my work there, I heard that Tzu Chi does recycling to protect the planet.
As the selling price of waste plastic bags is not high and there are many conditions for recycling, Keelung recycling volunteers figure out a good way to deal with these bags.
If we want to sell plastic bags to a manufacturer, the amount we have accumulated must reach that of their truckload. So we must have a stockroom in this recycling station to store these bags.
Besides being skilled in sorting PP and PE plastic bags, recycling volunteers are also good at cleaning, drying, and reducing the volume of plastic bags by bundling them up.
Because we do not have compressors, we can only roll plastic bags like spring rolls.
Huang Minli is one of the volunteers who pioneered the process of recycling plastic bags. She has also brought her granddaughter to do recycling.
My granddaughter is still very young, so of course I need to spend more time accompanying her. As she grows, I can bring her here, letting her know that her grandma is recycling plastic bags.
While it's difficult for people to stop using environmentally harmful necessities in their daily life, recycling volunteers work non-stop to create a healthy and clean planet for the next generation.
In the United States, Tzu Chi Great Love Kindergarten in Monrovia invited parents and students to work together in making costumes with recyclables. Meanwhile, Tzu Chi Great Love Preschool and Kindergarten in Texas also held a special fashion show for students to showcase their costumes. We'll leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for joining us. See you next week.